and welcome to MGP367. I'm Kevin. With me as ever, there's Sheepdog, Anna, and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
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 Well done to all three of you for being ready there, because I gave them very little time between our clap sync and starting the show this week, because I'm that eager to get into discussing all these lovely video games that we'll no doubt get to talk about later in the show.
I think I broke the palm of my hand. I've never clapped so hard.
Why did you clap so hard? You were very... I mean, I know I was eager to get the show started, but there was some serious clapping going on.
I think I was just as eager. I think the eagerness... Your eagerness probably stemmed from the strength of my clap, but I regretted it instantly.
Perhaps that G'd me into life. Whoa, that's a loud clap. Better start straight away. I don't want to get another one.
I basically broke the atom right in front of the microphone, and my hands are paying for it now. They're actually pink.
Nice. Have we all had marvellous weeks? How is everybody?
Very good.
Yeah. Been all right.
Brilliant. No one's got... I was hoping someone would have a disaster tale or something to string out the first 20 minutes of this nonsense. Here we go.
My technicians at my college made me cry.
Are you calling people out on the internet again?
Oh.
No, but they made me cry this week.
Is it because you didn't get any of the drugs and venom that they were all doing at the other uni? Because before the show, Anna was telling us how the other uni were on drugs and venom all week, and she was on nothing. She had to just do it all dry, sober, which is hard. I took so much venom when I was at uni. Kev remembers.
I'm sure you did.
You lot remember, because that was season 2, year 2 of the podcast.
Let's go back, start again, and refer to them as seasons. I like it.
But yeah, what did they do? Did they make you cry? Did you say, or did you make them cry? Oh, it's less fun if they made you cry. I thought you made someone cry.
They were mean to me.
Did they tell you that your partner's YouTube channel sucks?
No,
they're not idiots.
What did they say?
So basically, on last Friday, I told Rob that I needed to go to...
No one knows who that is.
You can't
Absolutely nobody knows who that man is.
I told my supervisor for my dissertation that I needed to go
who will remain nameless for the purposes of this story.
I'm sure we can take that out.
We absolutely won't.
Yeah,
I needed to go into the lab because the fingerprints I did with aluminium was spoilt by the sun. Okay?
The newspaper. They're always ruining things.
No, you idiot.
Tampering with evidence.
Rob's child spoilt it. That's who she means.
We can stop.
I apologise to Rob's kid.
I meant the sun in the sky, and it was overexposed, and it just, when I got home, they were awful. Now, that was done in December. And
There's no sun in December. That's the worst lie.
Well, there was on that day. It was awful.
It was too sunny in the depth of winter. They'll be at the sunset at 3 p.m. Sunny. You liar.
And so I needed the aluminium print to compare next to my next to my other 9 powders. So I went in. I told Rob, I was like, I need to go in. Can you book me a time? And he goes, the only day that is free is Wednesdays. And I was like, well, I'm not normally in on a Wednesday, but that's fine, Wednesday. So I sent him the Wednesday booking and a student request form. Then it got to Wednesday morning, and I got an email saying, oh, your student request form was sent in late, not by me, but it's because he forgot to send it. And that none of my stuff was going to be ready. And I was like, well, that's fine. And he said, you can go in and beg and plead and borrow, or go for the next week. I was like, well, I don't really want to wait another week, so I'll just go in, because it says I can go in. I took Kevin's camera, I took...
you then proceeded to break.
I didn't break, the thing fell off, because I was holding it, because it was clicking.
She was off her head on venom, Kev. Give her a break.
So I had the camera, so they didn't need to give me a camera. I had a tripod. The only things I needed was the powder and a tile, and I knew where both of them was, because in our lab room is where the powder is stored, and I knew it was there.
Well, boys and girls, apologies for that interruption. Sheepdog just decided to vomit all over his keyboard or something and ruined the recording. So as much as we were all interested in Anna's story in which she called out directly members of the faculty at her university, I think we're going to have to move on from it because she doesn't remember where she got to. If you really need to know how the story ends, just tweet at Anna with where she got to and she'll just reply on Twitter and let you know how the story ends.
Did we ever find out why she actually cried? Was it just that you went there and
Well,
they
no.
were eating crisps?
No, no, basically, right. So I took in the camera, I took in the tripod, I set them up.
Which she broke.
I didn't break. The foot plate thing I was twisting it in and it was clicking and I didn't understand why. So I turned it slightly in my hand to see why it was clicking. Borrow my
cameras and take them to uni, and my response is always, Anna, you realise this is a £1,000 camera.
Yes, but all it needs
if you were to break it, we'd have a big row. It's much better for you to just not take it just in case it breaks in some way.
Didn't say that though, did you?
I've refused to let her have it for 3 years, and this was the first time ever I thought, you know what, fine, take it in. I'm sure you won't break it. It came back broken.
I didn't break it, Kevin. It's a bit of glue. It's obviously come loose of the glue. Glue does that.
He'll never forgive you, though.
Don't care.
Broke
yes.
the camera.
I've told you I will go and get
so
you
is that
some
what
glue.
made you cry?
No. So I set all that up and I knew where the tiles were, I got that. I knew where the pile was, I got that. I set myself up, I put fingerprints on the tile, but on that day my fingers were not oily at all and I couldn't really get a good print on there. So I went looking in a cupboard where when I went in last time I knew where there was this cupboard that had a fingerprint grease in that I was going to use. So I was in the cupboard and as I went in the cupboard, one of the technicians came and goes, "What are you doing? You're not supposed to be in here. Why are you in a cupboard?" I was like, "I'm looking for the fingerprint oil." And it's like, "Oh, did you not get the email? You were told not to come in." And I was like, "Yeah, but it said I could come in. So here I am." He muttered something under his breath and left. And I was like, that's a bit weird. Then he came back, he goes, "Oh, what were you looking for?" I was like, "I need the fingerprint oil." He goes, "Well, it's not there anymore. It's on like a basket thing." And I was like, "Well, where's the basket thing?" So I was fine, right, go and get it myself. He goes, "I'll get it." Like, really, like, passive aggressive, not very nice. I was like, "Okay, thank you." I stood there for like 10 minutes, so I had nothing to do. I wanted to be in and out as fast as I could because Kev was at the gym and I was doing this and I was there and I was like, I can't wait anymore. So I got my fingers oily by just like rubbing them. Got some, like, because I needed it and he was just being long because he already made it quite apparent that I shouldn't be there and he wasn't very happy about it. Anyway, he comes back and he goes, "You shouldn't be here. We haven't got time to run around for you all day." I was like, "I don't need you to run around for me. I've bought in my own equipment. I know where everything is in this room, but it's not my fault you've moved that." He goes, "Well, we've got practicals to set up all day." I was like, "Well, go and set them up. I'm not stopping him. There was no one in that lab all day. I was in nobody's way. I was not inconveniencing them at all." So he left, just like, I was like, "I need to do this. I need to carry on my dissertation. I need this to do it." So off he went in like a mood. 10 minutes later, there's a woman technician and she like banged the door open, put one of them door stoppers on. It's like, "This has to be open. You're not supposed to be in here by yourself." Which I turned around and went, "Listen."
By now, I'd have burned this lab down.
I was like, "Listen." I was like, "The only day this lab is free is on a Wednesday. And on Wednesday is the one day my supervisor is not in. What am I supposed to do?" And there was nothing she could say. I was like, "This is what I'm doing. I've come in. I've been told I can come in. What is your problem?" She walked away. And at this point, I was just, you know what, I can't deal with the hostility. I was on my own in this lab and I had them two just like coming at me. And I know it sounds so trivial, but I just felt like I was being picked on because I wanted to do some work. So I just get everything together. I didn't even get my prints. Like, I've got pictures, but they are awful. They're not helping me at all. I just packed up my stuff. Kevin came out and I just wanted to cry. It was horrible, and I just started making a complaint about them because they get
via our podcast. If you're listening, technicians,
they're just horrible people. I've not done anything to them. Like, I went in because we started 2 weeks ago. I goes, I need to come in, and it was like to the technicians like, oh, you can see I'm busy. But what made it really annoying was that I went to go and give them the fingerprint oil back, and because previously they told me they were very busy, they had practicals for other lessons, didn't have time for me, which I was fine about. I went into their room, their little tiny room called, and they just sat there chatting away, eating crisps.
I told you the punchline was eating crisps.
I thought they were busy.
I'm not gonna lie, Anna.
It was like 11 o'clock.
If Pab was telling this story about how he went to work and everyone upset him, I'd be ripping the bejeebers out of him. I don't know if we can swear on this podcast. I've forgotten now. But I can't. I don't know what to say. I want to mock you, but I can't. I want to mock them, but I don't think it's.
Why would you want to mock me?
Almost as if this is an inappropriate forum to vent your grievances from your university.
Here is I've done it. No, but it's just.
Thank you very much.
It's just. The place is just falling apart at the moment. It's doing my head in. Just like we've been there 3 weeks. I still don't have assessments for one of my modules, and no one will tell me why. It's like, oh, they've not sent us any work. They've not sent it over. I can't publish it. I was like, yes, you can. You're just being lazy, but.
So, on that note, we really are going to move on from this now.
I'm sat here thinking, do I just delete my recording and say, oh, I'm sorry, Anna.
We are reaching the point.
Sorry, Anna, your whole rant at the uni didn't get it on.
We were having a discussion beforehand about Anna's job hunt. Anna, if you carry on, you will never get a job.
I'm dizzy. I can see little dots flying around. I laughed too hard then, and I don't even know what I was laughing
Potential employers will Google you.
Well, then delete it. But it's just, I just want to get through this degree with something.
I want to get through the next 10 minutes. There's so many stars.
With a degree that I can be proud of and not have to rush. And
if I go quiet for more than 2 minutes, I'm dead. Just let me know. If you get Claire screaming and calling an ambulance, just leave it in. Let the listener hear it.
I just want to get through it, and I just want to get a good degree that I'm proud of, and not have to jump through so many hoops just to try and get an education.
You need to just buy a lighter and keep flicking it every time they annoy you.
That's what I did.
Flick it. Yeah, that's what Kev did.
But I don't like confrontation, so I try.
Who doesn't like compensation?
No, confrontation.
Oh, right. I don't want to be compensated.
I don't like confrontation.
Those video games,
education.
No, I tried. Listener, I tried.
No, I've played games this week. Believe it or not, this isn't an attempt to fill because we haven't played any games. We know Anna's played games. We know Pab's played games. Kev's probably touched the game. But I've played a game as well. I won't go first, though. I just wanted to help Kev.
Which means he's going to go off and play a game now while someone else talks. It's all part of his ploy.
Pab, what have you played this week? Let's mix things up. I don't want to.
You want me to go first this week?
Monopolise the start of every podcast.
Okay, that's fine, Sheepdog. We can do that. This week, I have played some more Journey to the Savage Planet, and I have seen end credits on that game.
Yeah.
Seen them.
Did you see them on YouTube, Sheepdog style, or did you get there by playing the game?
I saw them on my Twitch channel because I streamed it. I streamed it for about an hour and a half. And
you've got to give people the link to your Twitch, Pab. You can't just say
it. It was twitch.tv/Pab1986.
Good work, Pab.
There you go. Yeah, it was all right. It was. It turns out I wasn't that far from the end from last week. It became apparent. So you have to find out what's in that tower, don't you? That was the big thing in that game. You get to the planet and there's this huge tower on there, and you want to know what's in it. I know what's in it. A big annoying boss that seemed impossible to do. To get into the tower was a pain in the backside as well. the sheen came off of this game for me towards the end. To be fair, I was getting frustrated with it and annoyed because it seemed irrationally difficult, and it probably wasn't. It's just that it didn't control as well as I'd have liked it to. It was fine, but making these like really elaborate jumping puzzles kind of things, and got to dodge enemies and have all sorts of stuff thrown at you at the same time. It was fine. I've not 100%ed it though. It threw me back out in the world because
why not, Pab?
Because I've just not like I say, I beat the end boss and it showed me end credits and went, right, to come back home from this planet you need to get fuel. You're at 60% fuel. You need to get.
Is there not an Esso nearby?
No, it's not that sort of planet. No, it's you need to craft, make resources and stuff like that, and find all these. There's still loads to do in the game, I think, but it's like, if you've shown me end credits now, I feel like I'm done. I've got no real urgency to go back to it now. I might do at some point,
I think you're legitimately allowed to just go, yep, no, see you later.
I might do.
Yeah.
I honestly might do.
You should.
Because, like I say, the very next day I was like, right, okay, what game can I stream now then? I was immediately like, I wanted to stream something else now.
He's got the bug!
Yeah, well, so kind of a little bit. So I then went on to the next day and I went on and played Return of the Obra Dinn.
Okay.
Have you heard of this one?
Black and white thing.
It's
brown.
Yeah, it's insanely cool looking.
Sounds to me like you were worried too many people were watching and you wanted to solve the problem.
No, I don't want to play
No,
games.
apparently this is like one of the best games of last year.
Yeah, it is. And I don't want to play games that just everybody's playing because I don't see the point in doing that. If someone's playing, you know what I mean?
Money, fame, success.
Money, yeah, but money, right? So like all these
money,
big YouTubes.
money.
Pab doesn't like compensation either.
Oh, yeah. I'm not in it for the money. So, Return of the Obra Dinn has this like very old computer style graphic style. It's like greeny, grey, black and white colour kind of looking game. And you can change that and you use like, I think that base setting is like Macintosh setting, and then you can change to IBM, Atari. There's like several Macintoshes, several IBMs, and you can change it, and it changes all different like colour and the texture sort of thing of it. It's kind of cool doing that. But the main premise of the game is you are like an insurance, like you're an insurance guy going on to assess what's happened to the ship, because the Obra Dinn has returned it's been gone for years, and it's turned back up in the docks just randomly, and you've got to go onto the ship and assess like what has happened on this ship and why is it back. So then you go around the ship and you have like this you have a ledger, and you have a ledger that has like some pictures from the Obra Dinn, like so you have like pictures of crew, like just like big like long like not portrait shots, like a landscape, I don't know, and you have a ledger of like the entire crew that was on the ship, and you also you get with you a pocket watch, and the pocket watch is key because the pocket watch is I'm gonna say it's a magical pocket watch. It sounds stupid, but it lets you straight away you get on the ship, you find there's a skeleton there, and as soon as you like mouse over the skeleton, you get the pocket watch. You click something on the pocket watch, and it shows you the basically the moment that death happened. It shows you like a snapshot of that death happening, and you hear like a snapshot of audio that happened in like the whatever 30 seconds it is that it shows you, and like you can walk around it. It's basically like in real time. You can walk around this snapshot, and so you can see. For example, the very first one, you can hear someone banging on the captain's door saying, "Get out," or whatever it is, "Get out." And he goes, "Nope." And then you hear the door bust open, and then the captain shoots a gun, and then you see the shot, and it's the captain shooting a shot, and it's shooting this guy right in the head. So you've got to deduct, okay, this guy. So then you then bring your ledger open and go, this guy. And it's like you highlight him, and it shows him like that shows a picture of him. That this is the guy here, and then you got to identify who he is, how he was killed, and who was killed by. And then to deduct that, you assume the captain killed him because they're banging on the captain's quarters, and then tell him to come out. So you assume the captain killed him with a shot him, but we don't know who he is. So it's like this. This is how the game goes. So it's a massive puzzle game, effectively. It's like a massive, like, what is it, like it's like a story game, like telling you, like, you've got to fathom this game out, this puzzle of like who's killed who, what's happened to this boat, what's happened to the crew, and you find out how you've done, like whether you're right or not in threes. So every three people you identify as like who they are, how they died, and who killed them. Every three of those, it will like pop up and go, was you right, sort of thing, and it'll tick them off, and then it'll cross them off the list, off the ledger, and you have then identified them. They become clear as well. They become clear in the pictures, because all the pictures that you see are kind of like blurry faces, so you don't know who they are. It's fascinating. It is fascinating, because at first I was like thinking, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no clue what is going on. This seems really confusing. But you kind of, once you get a grip of it, like I say, I found the first one, found the first body, and then it kind of opens up a bit further. Then suddenly the captain's quarters is open, and then you find another body inside, and then you identify. Then you look at the how he died. So you look, you click the watch again, and you shows that death, and then it gives you another clue to something else, and then you can say, oh, there's another body outside on the other side of the captain's quarters. How has that person died? And it's like, and they all intertwine with each other, and it's all like, how many like snapshots of these people in as well. So then you've got to go back through each snapshot to go, okay, this guy was here, this guy was actually climbing over the balcony trying to get into the captain's quarters around the back at the time that this guy was trying to bang on the door. And it's like, it's a massive puzzle game that's like fascinating, and I kind of just can't wait to play more of it. It's been, like I say, I kind of got really into it, but also getting incredibly lost at the same time, because it's like, he's just trying to look at like nuggets of clues and trying to figure out which ones they are. And it's been, like I say, I've really enjoyed my time with it so far. It's kept me interested, and I'll probably stream some more of that at some point, because it's been fun. I mean, it's been interesting.
It's been an experience.
It has been. It's different. It's from the guy that made Papers, Please. I know you've probably heard of that
They
one.
made that Brexit one, didn't they?
Was it the Papers, Please people? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know this game, the Obra Dinn was the 2018's. I think it was 2018. One of 2018's best games of the year for a lot of people, and it is very good. And I'd like to finish it. I can't guarantee I would finish it, because it seems like it goes places and it gets incredibly difficult, I imagine. But it's interesting.
It goes places and it gets difficult.
I imagine it really does. Because I've done like about an hour and a half Sheepdog, and I've identified 3 correct people. That's it. And I know how several people died, but I haven't got a clue who they are. This is the thing. I'm trying to identify who they are on this ledger. So it's kind of like you've got to kind of push a bit more forward by also doubling yourself back to try and fathom out, okay, this person was here, but also he was also in this scene here for later on, and you've got to try and identify who he is and what he was to that ship. It's fascinating. It is, and like I said, the art style is like frighteningly amazing. It's so cool art style. That's enough of that one. The last thing I've played, which has taken most of the week up for me, and we're not going to talk much about it because it's Apex Season 4 has come out.
Yeah.
New season of Apex, a new character, new battle pass, all new. No, not all new map. Slightly edited map. The new character is Revenant, which is like a robot fella, and his passive is he can climb up things better. He can climb up like the taller buildings, sort of thing. You can only like grapple up things, or you can only mantle up things so high. He can go much higher. and he has an ability which can nullify everyone else's abilities at once. And he has like a death ability where if he gets killed, he gets like teleported back to like this mark he put down. That's a good move. The battle pass, I haven't bought the big battle pass this time for the first time ever. Normally I buy the big old battle pass with the 25 plus 25 levels. I was like, I'm not doing it this time. There's no point, because by the time I get to week 8, I've finished the battle pass, and I just kind of feel bored playing the game because I have no reason to
You've
progress.
basically bankrupted this company now. You've ruined their business model.
Well, I've still bought the basic
You're playing
battle pass.
their game for free, you monster.
No, I've bought the basic battle pass, but there's like there's like one that's the standard battle
Tell
pass.
that to their kids, Pap. Their kids are
I'm
going to
sure
receive
their kids are fine. Sheepdog.
last season's cars for their birthdays.
EA's kids
last
are
season,
fine. I'm sure
Pap.
the EA kiddies are all sleeping sweet tonight. It's not a problem.
In last season's pyjamas as well, no doubt.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they'll have to suck it up. I'm not. I just don't see the point in me advancing 25 levels on day one when I get to like week 8 of 14 and I've got nothing left to do. I might as well enjoy it more by
The economy, Pab. That's the reason.
I'm giving them enough money. They're not having any more. But yeah, Apex is Apex. It's like I said, there's new areas in the map. The Harvester is a new area in the map, and it seems confusing.
Harvester for tea last weekend. It was lovely.
Is it nice?
It was nice, although they didn't have Triple H sauce this time.
I was confused by the
Was
Harvester.
the main
Is
reason.
that
I
endorsed by
wanted
the
to go.
wrestler?
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
I don't know. That's probably why they don't do it anymore. After I tweeted it at the wrestler, he probably sued him. But yeah, we enjoyed the salad bar, as we always do at the Harvester.
So are they sponsoring Apex now, or what?
I don't think they've got an official.
Do you get free salad with every season pass?
I've not seen a salad bar at the Harvester yet, but I mean, I kind of get lost in the Harvester. There's too many like different corridors and doorways that I find myself wandering through, and I'm like, it's too much.
Looking for the gents.
Yeah, pretty much, Sheepdog. Yeah, I'm like, I end up in the car park again. I'm like, what? Why am I here? It's bizarre. It's
Just go there, to be fair.
yeah, that's where you end up going in the bushes. But yeah, Apex is Apex. I'll tell you what it is though. I've noticed it.
It's Apex.
The guy that I play it with, Rocco, said to me, I think they've adjusted the matchmaking, because we've played it like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a bit tonight, and we've had 5 wins in like 4 days, and it seems like we've had a lot more wins than the last month or so that we've had been playing. So I don't know whether they've like made it so like matchmaking is much better, so the more level players playing with you, rather than just getting battered every time by these ace pro players that seem to be wiping the floor of everyone in previous seasons. I don't know, but there you go. Or potentially I've got better. I doubt that's the case. I seriously doubt that is the case, that I've got better in that game. I just kind of sit around and just take all the glory. But yeah, Apex has been fun again. It's
Like on this podcast.
Exactly.
I don't think I've ever played Apex.
It's not for you, Sheepdog.
It's
It's not for you, Sheepdog.
Yeah, I
It's
didn't think it would
basically
be.
Fortnite, isn't it? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's
but weirdly,
Fortnite
my
for
kids don't-
grown-ups.
My kids don't go Apex every time they see anything
Are your
related
children
to it.
grown-ups?
No, but they all go Fortnite
'Cause-
with literally
Yeah,
anything
Apex
Fortnite
is
related.
Fortnite for grown-ups. When they're grown-ups, they'll do that. Now, I have an adult child. That's probably all she talks about. But obviously, as an adult child, I never see her. So I don't hear her talking about Apex. But I bet she is all the time.
I can't imagine my son telling his head teacher that he plays Apex all the time, like he did with Fortnite.
Well, he won't, because he
despite
won't have a head
the
teacher when he's an
letters.
adult. He'll be telling his boss that he's playing Apex all the time, and his boss will be
get
going,
letters
"For
saying,
goodness sake, do some work."
His boss won't write to me. His head writes to us saying, "Fortnite is a game for 12 plus. Your children at this school aren't 12." And it's like, "All right, mate, they don't play it." But he insists he does because he wants to seem cool to his head inexplicably. It's a nightmare. And my dad lets me drink beer. You've never drank beer in your life, you lying little. Games. I said last week I would play Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
It was Iceborne. Is that the add-on? That's the full version that I got on Game Pass.
Okay.
Anna said, "Ugh, Monster Hunter." and
Monsters
that
is
has
good.
echoed in my mind, worrying me all week. And I finally got round to actually playing it. It's a massive install. Took a long time, and that game makes you wait a long time before you can actually play it. I'll tell you that for
That's
free.
because there's a lot of stuff in it, Sheepdog. There's a lot of stuff to learn in that game, and it holds your hand for a long time.
So I said to Mrs. Sheepdog, I'll start it up now, play a little bit, and then I'll play some more tomorrow. And I ended up being on it for like 4 hours, maybe 5 hours. And I reckon that 2 of that was probably just watching it start, creating my character, creating my cat, creating the whatever, following the next bit. You're watching the tutorial. I was just like, I really just want to play the game. And then when it finally started and I was able to run from where I washed up on a beach to the base, I was like, oh, so I'm not allowed to fight anything. I'm not allowed to, run around the actual base. They showed me every single department in the base. I was like, oh my God. I actually screamed, let me run at one point. I then got a bit sidetracked by the fact that I realised one of my kids has jammed something sticky down the right stick of my Xbox controller. I think it was very clunky. It would. So I thought for like my review
beer while they were playing Fortnite.
my review would have been the cameras are a bit mental until I realised the cameras were only mental because I was controlling them with the right stick and it's got something's wrong with it. I don't know if it's sticky or what. It's just clunky, but I just wanted to be able to lock the camera in place because I had that problem. It's a very me problem, so I'm not letting it besmirch the game. But once it finally let me loose, I thought I could go out the gate and run around and just start massacring monsters and, fulfilling orders of massacrings. But it basically, you have to read them and then wait around for it to try and match you with people online or just go at it alone.
Which you can.
I'm fearful that later on, because I'm going to play this onwards. I don't know whether I'll play it for like the several hundred hours people online seem to play it, but I'll play it a little bit. And I'm fearful that there'll be a point where I won't be able to do it without matching with people, and it's been out too long for me to
tell you
match
what,
with people
Sheepdog,
at my level.
that
go on.
Monster Hunter people are a certain breed, and they are diehard. And this game is like you shoot flares up, don't you, to get people to come and help you. I think that's right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, do you remember that? If you're in a battle, you can fire a flare in the air, and it's like basically like a ping signal to like people, and people are like, I tell you now, you will find people in that game because people are diehard for that game, and they're just waiting for someone to help, and you'll find all sorts of people coming helping you.
I just assumed that wouldn't be the case, so I've been doing it alone, and
Yeah,
I've not done many. But I'm kind of, I don't know what to think. It's fun, but it's also, I don't know that there's much point to it, so I don't know what the pull is, if that makes sense. Like, I can see it being fun for someone to just go pick up the task. All right, you got to go and kill this thing. All right, you go and you start it. You get your kit ready, and then off you go to try and hunt it down. But it kind of holds your hand finding it. I was reading because I thought this can't be how it's always been. Apparently, it used to be that you had to kind of hunt yourself.
It used to be horrible. It used to be really hard.
You'd search for footprints, you'd search for scents, you'd search for this, that, and the other. And I can imagine someone like Kev be like, I wouldn't even try and do that. Whereas this one seems the opposite way. I just followed the sparkly light.
Yeah, you're tracking bugs, so everybody had it. Yeah.
And judging, because I looked up what people's thoughts were on that, and it doesn't seem to be an option to turn it off. Maybe there is. Maybe there's a hard.
No, you want that, Sheepdog. You definitely want that. You'd never find it.
Oh no, I do. But I just wanted to know whether some of our listeners play games a lot more higher difficulty.
Because they've done that, I think they've streamlined that to make it more accessible to people. But I don't think they've done it so like I don't think they've gone backwards with the way they're thinking. It's then turn this off and go back to the old way. I think it's just this way. Or no way, from what I can tell. You'd
have thought that they would have given the option to turn that off and just try and sniff out footprints. But weirdly, it didn't help that much because on one of them, I thought I was going. It just seemed like the maps are quite. You can see where you can and can't go.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like. If it's a light browny kind of colour, you can walk there. So I'm walking along, and I thought, okay, the person's there. I can keep going that way. That's probably where the monster is. And then I got tangled off. I think I jumped off a few ledges and I was in a pool and it just kept going, over here. And I'm like, right, but I've loaded up the map and I can't see where you are and I can't see any indication of where you are. So I'm like, are you down here? And it's going, over here. I'm like, all right, okay, are you in this corner? Over here. I'm like, are you over here? Over here. I'm like, for goodness sake, say that one more time and I'm just going to turn this off. And for like 20 minutes, I was just wandering around while it shouted over here and I had no idea where the hell they were. I stumbled across them by mistake and then just got on with the level. But I thought, God, that it needs a bit of a tweak there to just show exactly on the map where they are. Once I met them, it added a green dot to the map and showed me where they were. And I just thought, well, where was that before? But it was just absurd. I wasted a lot of time doing that. I wasn't sure about two things with it. So when I was going through the weapons,
yes,
I wasn't sure what to pick, and I'm a bit of a glutton for picking the massive mallet items. And this is for my friends who know me like from school, and I've known them for like 30 years and all this. They know this about me, and they're nerdy. So one of my mates plays like I don't think it's Dungeons and Dragons, but something along those lines. And he has some characters in that, and his me character is this mallet sort of hammer wielding dwarf person, and that's the thing they do. And that's basically what they're putting for me on that, and that's what I've done in this. So I'm wandering around because it says that's the thing that does the most damage, and that's the thing that's going to hurt them the most. It had like 480 damage or something stupid on it. So when I saw it, I was like, right, it does the most damage. It's a hammer. It's the sheepdog weapon of choice. Let's get cracking. So I'm this like petite woman running around with a massive mallet. It's a bit of a slow weapon. But my question is, my concern is, when I was smashing the heck out of the, I can't remember what they're called now, Jaggles or something. It's almost like Jaguar. But it was doing like 8 damage, 20 damage. Like I think once it did 40 damage, and I was thinking 40 seems pretty good. This is like really early on, but I thought if I'd have picked the like knife or the sword, it's just going to have been doing like where the damage, because the damage on the mallet on the hammer was like 480, and I upgraded it to 500 or something, 550. Mm-hmm. But the damage on the swords was like 150 and whatever. And I thought, well, if they were going to do the same amount of damage to this monster, what was the point of it having a higher rating? I don't really get how the weapons work in this. It feels a bit like those numbers are meaningless, and that shouldn't be the case, should it? Really?
But it's all about. I mean, I bet did it show like a difficulty level on the weapon when you selected it? I can't remember whether it does that, because it's like certain weapons are designed for starter people, and certain weapons are more for advanced players. So I
don't remember it showing.
It might not. It might just been like a thing that I read when it first came out. When I was playing it, I was like, what weapons are more for beginners and what are more advanced? And I imagine you probably picked a more advanced weapon. I might be wrong.
Maybe. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm smashing them about. I was doing some really cool moves with it. Like,
yeah.
If I tapped it a few times, I pressed a different. Like, I don't know. It might not have been a going from one to the other, but it seemed like I was doing something fancy because she was swinging it around and smash, and then it was like the last smash that did the 40 damage kind of thing. But I was just sat there thinking, so leading on to my next query about it, I was trying to fight this great jaguar thing, it's a massive lizard thing, and I was smashing the hell out of it with this hammer, right? Like, properly ruining its day. It had stars around its head. It was really dizzy and all of this. And I'm thinking, you have had it, Sunshine. You are dead. And yet it carried on wandering off, running into the distance, la la la, blah, blah, blah. And I'd get to like a beach and it'd be like, oh, it looks like it's really tired. I'm smashing it about. And it's like, right, you've really got it now. Finish it off. And then I finished it. And I just thought, was this all on the rails? Was this just story? Was this just set in stone that I couldn't kill it till this point?
No. You could go all day, Sheepdog. It probably has like a nest type thing where it'll go back to like its home.
Well, I went to its nest, and because then I was like, well, if I could have killed it at the nest, and I could have killed it in the jungle, and I could have killed it on the beach, then what weapon should I have bleeding used? Because I was using the weapon with the highest
it's purely
score.
your
It was
choice.
a coincidence.
It's all about. I mean, because that weapon you've got, Sheepdog, the big hammer, I imagine is slow to wind up. I imagine. Whereas something like the dual blades, which is very much a beginner weapon, is fast and agile, but it deals considerably less damage. But it's quicker to move.
Yeah, I would have assumed that one would have just gone 2 2 2 2 2 2 2
yeah,
2 2.
Yeah, but it's
whereas
quick.
I've just gone 40, 40.
Yeah.
40.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes more sense to me to do the shorter.
Well, yes, but
one-off
doing that,
Sheepdog,
it'll be going further into that game. It'll become noticeable that having them slow wind-ups and what have you means you will have to dodge or dance around these creatures because they're going to become more aggressive towards you and become more difficult to deal with because you've got such a slow wind-up. You can't do the quick damage and get in and get out. Don't
get me wrong. When it was running away, it was bloody hard to hit it when it was running because it's. By the time I swung my mallet at it, it had gone. I did regret having that out because I'd used it on a few when there was like large groups of things to kill.
Yeah.
And it was easier then. That's why I was like, I'm glad I picked this. I like using. I mean, I remember Final Fantasy 12, I think it was. My character was just wandering around with a giant hammer in his hand, just smashing everyone around the head with it. It was great. But this time it was great in those groups because I think I was just hitting 4 of them at once and it was like killing them all quite quickly. Whereas, when I was chasing one specific down, one specific giant thing, it was like, I could have probably done with a quick sword here. But I just thought, A, it seemed like it was forcing it to take as long as it did, and B,
I don't think so. I feel like if because it's like you can do things such as that great Jaggy or whatever it's called, you can cut his tail off at certain points. If you attack the tail, you can cut his tail off and weaken it that way. So you could cut it. You know what I mean? That'll do more damage to it. You can hit it in the legs so it limps away, so it doesn't move as fast. So it's not guaranteed that it's always got to end up in the same place every time. It's not scripted that way, I don't think.
Okay, that's interesting. That's something that you've just reminded me as well, though. I don't want to sound negative because I enjoyed it. It was a good game, but I also was frustrated that I did a mission that was a faff. Like, I did it. It was great. I felt like, yeah, brilliant. I've achieved this. It was good. And then I went to loot everything, and it just went, you got 20 seconds.
Yep.
You got 10 seconds. See you later. And I was like, I've killed all this stuff, and I want to, like, hack at it and take its bits and pieces out.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I need to not complete the mission until I've looted the whole area, but then I'm timed. So then that's kind of
the main stuff's on the big animals. To be fair, the little things aren't as important. They don't give you as much.
But it was
loot.
like this giant stack of bones that was glowing, and I
mean, you'll come across them time and time again. It's not they're not a massive thing.
I mean, early on, I imagine I'm not missing anything game changing. But
no, it's the hides of the big monsters that you want because they're the big things that count towards your upgrading your armor and your weapons. And if you get to that stuff, Sheepdog, that's where it becomes kind of an addiction as to like, what monsters do I want to upgrade to this sort of outfit? What do I want to specialize in? What, certain armor, certain weapon types, certain.
This is the part that worries me though, because I'm not really the sort of person who, like, I'm surprised Anna doesn't like this because she likes the looting in Borderlands.
I didn't like the monsters.
Right, okay, that makes sense. Because this seems a bit like you kill the right monster and suddenly you can build a better weapon and a better shield and a better armor and whatever. And you're like, well, hey, and you carry on, and that's what drives it. Whereas I'm kind of like, I wanted a story that involved me going out to. I mean, I didn't know. Also, this is on me. This isn't a criticism either. But I thought it wasn't just killing them. It was you had a kind of a choice, like you could catch them.
You will be able to.
I read online you couldn't. I read online it was just because I googled it.
There is a way to trap them. You can.
Okay.
Basically, when you go to like there's like a certain point where you'll get given like a trap type thing. And when they get really low, and all the tells are there, when they're all haggard and limping around and knackered, you can activate the trap thing, and it'll just like go boom, caught him, and it'll go like instead of catching him, and it'll go back to your camp, and he'll be in this big cage.
I want to be the Attenborough of the world. I want to be like
there's a big cage in your camp, and you get to basically all your scientist guys in that camp or whatever. You get to study them, and you'll get stuff from that. You won't be able to harvest him like you would get for like the bones and the skins and stuff. But you'll get experience and like knowledge and stuff for your science team or whatever you back at camp instead.
Okay, So playing it vegetarian mode might...
You can do, but it's not good. That's not necessarily where you want to play it permanently, because, like I say, you will need to you need hides and bones and all sorts of different materials to upgrade your gear and your armor set.
But yeah, it seems like a very impressive game. It isn't what I
Sheepdog.
expected in terms of, like, I thought we'd just run around the island, but it's all very much like you have to rigidly...
Yeah, I mean, next time you play it, Sheepdog, I'd say to you, go into it with like an open playroom or whatever it is that you do, open room, so people can join you, and get into a fight, get into like a battle, and just fire that flare up, and watch the people come in, and they'll make it considerably easy for you, because I mean it ramps up difficulty. The more players that got added to your game, it ramps up the difficulty. But basically, the hardcore players will come in and they'll just wipe the floor with these early monsters for you. But it's so much. This is where the fun is in this game: is multiplayer. Having people to get around with and do upgrading all the gear and stuff. It is something else.
It seems to have ongoing events and
it's still ongoing events and stuff. Yeah,
I got a load of extra kit and whatever, those bits and pieces, raffle tickets. Stuff
Never
like that.
heard of it.
That got thrown in. So yeah, it's cool to see that. I mean, I guess the fact it's on Game Pass means it's going to have got a bit of a resurgence of new players like myself. But yeah, it's a goer. We'll see how it goes. I'm
glad you're enjoying it. I am glad.
Yeah, I it didn't make me sick.
That's a positive.
Thrilled. I couldn't believe that. Like, I was half an hour in and I suddenly realised that I hadn't felt even the slightest tinge of motion sickness. Someone tweeted me the other day saying that apparently someone suggested I try a vibrating anti-sickness tool. I don't remember anyone suggesting it. So whoever it was that suggested that, tell me what it is. Because they said, oh yeah, did you ever get that? And I said, oh no, I didn't. And I thought, well, I don't even know where to begin looking for that. I'm not going to search vibrating on Google because... yeah, that ain't going to go down well. But I'd love to know what this tool is, because I would absolutely invest in it if it's something that supposedly will help me. Because I've got at least 15, 20 games in my house that I can't play because they just make me ill. And as I said last week, the last one I tried to play, whatever it was, I can't even remember now, Claire just said to me, why are you doing it to yourself? Just what is wrong with you? You must know by now what you can and can't play. Just don't play stuff you can't play. And I tried to explain to her that it doesn't really work like that, and I can't really continue to try and play new stuff unless I try it and then end up vomiting after half an hour. It's ridiculous. I wish there was a cure.
There is. Stop being stupid. It's all your fault.
So how much Football Manager and Civilization have you played this week?
Loads.
Chapman?
End of my games. There we go. That's all you needed to know. Yeah, that's obviously all I've played, because they're the only two good games that exist. There's a good chance they'll be the only two games I play for the rest of time now. That's it. I'm just not going to
I've thought about buying
new.
Civilization probably 6 times this past week, and all 6 times I've thought, but I can't exactly review it on the podcast because that's all Kev's been talking about for a month, and it's. I'm
playing it right now. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah,
it is. I've now done a complete series on my channel on it, and there's people asking for another one, so there will be another complete series soon. Once I can find the time to record them, but obviously they take a long time to record videos on these games. Why have I picked another game that's as time intensive as Football Manager? I'm an idiot, but it is. It's so much fun.
Often heard it be said that you are an idiot. Has anything changed on it? Any new stuff?
Since last week? No,
yeah.
No, they've not changed anything in the last week, Sheepdog. They probably won't change anything in the next week either. I think it's just safe to assume I'm just here to look pretty from now on.
No, but the reason I'm asking is I'm really conflicted about whether or not I want it. I love Civilization.
You want it. It's awesome. Just get it.
Yeah.
It's like £7 on my CD Keys link that Pab will put in the description.
What, for Switch?
Oh, no, not for Switch.
Yeah, no, I've got it on laptop.
Play it then, you lunatic.
Well, I don't want to sit on a laptop. That makes my neck go.
You can sit on the chair and just use the laptop. Goodness me. Yeah, on Switch with the DLC, it will cost you about £75, I should think.
Wow.
Because you've got to buy the base game, and then it's a £30 upgrade to get the DLC.
On what? Sorry,
on the Switch. It was a lot of money to get the expansion packs. It's certainly not a cheap way to play on Switch, but it is excellent on Switch, and I do like the fact I can do my cross save, which is awesome. Although it's not quite as perfect as it could be, because although you've got the I can't remember what the feature is called on the Switch, where you can just turn it off and it like pauses the game, you can turn it back on again. The only problem is it disconnects from the internet when you do that, and if you've not got a constant internet connection, you lose the ability to use the cloud save. So I can load up my save from there, but if I turn off the Switch at any point while I'm doing it, I then can't save it back to the cloud again. So it's not
full stop.
Well, until I then come out, I can save it to the Switch, log out of the game, log back into the internet, go back into the game, open that game up, then save it back to the cloud. It's a pain in the trousers. So it's not a perfect system, but it's a step in the right direction. The fact that that they're even trying to make it happen. But yeah, it's I've just got to the point where I've got a save running on my PC and one running on my Switch now, and I'm enjoying them both greatly.
Is Stadia on? Is Civilization on Stadia? Is what I was trying to say.
I haven't looked.
Because that would really put the cat amongst the pigeons for me on which version to get. Because you gave me a login to Stadia that I've not used yet. I'm
sure Pab will check for us right now and find out.
I am scrolling as we speak. And because the list is that little and this console on this system,
it shouldn't take long to find
about
out.
30 seconds. All games, see all. There you go. And it's not.
There's articles about why they suggest it probably will.
It's not. It's not on here right now.
It's the sort of game that should be on.
Could be on there quite easily.
Similar to with Football Manager, it would, or the theoretical thing with Football Manager, it would benefit from extra processing power. Because I do notice the difference between playing it on my Switch and on my PC. I'm on the one I'm playing right now. I'm on turn 337. On my PC, it's literally just turn. On the Switch, it's do my bits, go make a cup of coffee, have a wee, do a bit of stretching, come back 10 minutes later. It's my turn again. Excellent.
That's kind of how I'm used to it on the Mac. It'll be like click. Okay, how's your day been? All right? Yeah. Sorry, I'm busy. And then go back to my conversation. So it's not quite as long enough to make a cup of coffee or whatever, but it's probably 30 seconds ago, a minute ago, 2 minutes ago, maybe depending on how far through it I am. But I think I'd rather it be faster than go to the Switch and have the same experience. That seems a bit off. I don't know.
Tell them to make it right to Google. They listen to you.
I will.
They respect your opinion for some reason.
Everyone does, mate.
Quick side note.
Oh, hello.
While on this Google Stadia store, which I rarely go on, there are three new games to play.
Oh,
to claim.
Into Stadia again.
To claim. There is Thumper.
What is Thumper?
It's like it's a bit
Rabbit from Bambi.
It's a bit like what is it, like music rhythm based game. Thumper, Metro Exodus, and Guilt is currently free for anyone. Probably not many listeners.
Wasn't Guilt their only?
That was their only exclusive, yeah.
And then
which they should be giving away for free anyway, because if it is their only exclusive, they want to get people onto the platform. Give it away for free.
Yeah.
Make it an excuse for people to get it.
It doesn't look very good though. From the
from what I heard, it wasn't great.
Logo.
From what people, it's just kind of just average. But I'll might give it a go.
Marvel Avengers is a Stadia game apparently.
Probably.
It's not out yet.
They probably announced it as a Stadia game. But there's lots of games. Cyberpunk's announced as a Stadia game.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through them now. Mortal Kombat 11, I'd probably...
Farming Simulator 19, I might have to have a go on that.
That's free at the minute, that's free, yeah. So yeah, you claim that, yeah, there you go.
Hang on, are all these on this list free then?
No.
The Stadia Pro ones are free, aren't they?
Yeah, there's like a handful that they give away for free at certain points. They've given away like a quarter of the catalogue now at this point.
It's like with PlayStation, you have to claim them when they're on there, and then you get to go back and play them whenever you want.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 7 Stadia games. 8 Stadia games, in fact.
About a
because for
quarter
some
of
reason,
the library.
Football Manager's not on that list. Yeah. I've got a very extensive Stadia collection. I've used it once.
Yeah.
Yeah, the list doesn't look great. Destroy All Humans sounds like another shooty looking game.
Destroy All Humans is ancient, isn't it? Is that a remake?
Yeah, Doom, Borderlands 3, Baldur's Gate, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. What are they doing? Why haven't they got, like... I suppose they need something on there, don't they? It just seems a bit bizarre.
Anna.
Yeah?
Tell us what games you've played this week.
Games? What, as in more than one? Huh?
Well, if you've got more than one,
No,
yeah.
I don't. I have played Bioshock Infinite. Is it Infinite?
Infinite.
Yeah, that's all I've done.
Okay.
Why have you gone back to that 10 years on?
Because it's free on PlayStation. I already own it.
Okay.
But it was there, and I was like, you know what? I like it. I didn't want to play 1 again because I've played that so many times. I didn't want to play 2 because I didn't like 2. So I played 3.
It's funny that I thought about playing this recently.
It's so linear, like
It's
because I've
painful.
got into like open
Painful.
world and
This is one of the great games of the last generation.
The story is pretty damn good, but the gameplay, and like Anna says, it's linear. The gameplay is horrendous.
Linear is not bad, you hipster.
It's not bad, but
it's so rote and just
yeah.
It's so obvious. Like, what's the challenge? I might as well just watch the video of the story. I might as well watching a film because it's not really that interesting.
The challenge is being able to shoot the gun straight.
But that's the other point. Is the gameplay itself is garbage.
How dare you?
Yeah, so it is. I don't know. Maybe it was just the time it was the story it wanted to tell, but it is very A to B shoot, A to B shoot, A to B shoot. Oh, there's something over here. I'm gonna have a look.
You're literally describing every shooting game that's ever existed.
Yeah, but I haven't really played any linear shooting games recently. But this is very much like you can't go back to an area because you have areas, it has set pieces, and then you leave that area, and there's not really any way of going back to that area if you want to. Like if you want to go back, you have to just go through whole levels, whereas you haven't got a fast travel, for instance. Everything is like, oh, if you wanted to go back to that one, you have to go through the whole level, and but there's no reason to go back. And I like to have a look around and going back to places and have a look. I do like the skyline. Is that what it's called? I do enjoy that. That's quite fun.
Like the rails.
Yeah, the rails.
Yeah.
Like you stop and jump down on people and splatter them. That's fun. And I like the fact that Elizabeth is very self-sufficient. She's not Ashley from Res 4 where you have to literally hold her hand and walk her through that game, because that annoyed me. And it's been recently people have been talking about it, like the worst people in games, and she was one of them. But it looks nice. I remember it, and I remember this. Some good DLC, but I have no idea. I have no idea what the story is in that. I don't understand this.
You didn't get it at the time, though,
No,
did you?
I don't get it. I'm listening to everything, and I'm like, what are they on about? Like, I don't.
I never got Bioshock, to be honest. I played it and thought,
Like, I love
story,
the world. I love the big daddies and the little sisters and the spices. I love all that, but I have no idea what all the lighthouse is about. Couldn't tell you. Wouldn't have a clue. Not anything.
I think Kev got in my head with this series because he implied that you shouldn't necessarily do what the game wants you to do, and then
that's the whole point of the first game.
Yeah, but it messed with my head, so I never really got it. So I never completed the first game, and plus it made me feel motion sick.
Hang on.
And so I've not played all 3 of them.
Kev said to you, "Don't do what you're supposed to do," and that didn't.
Not that you don't.
That didn't.
He didn't explicitly say
I might
that.
have spoilt the ending a little bit with the bit.
Right.
He kind of vaguely said something that made me think he probably means don't do what he wants you to do, because that seems a little bit off.
See, where was Kev when you were doing when you were playing that robot game that you love so much? And you let that poor girl die.
Well, see, yeah, maybe you got in my head then. I don't know. I'm not blaming him, but I don't know. Don't do what it says. Do what it says. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I did put on Fallout 76 because they
update.
finally released the date of the Wastelanders
Is it coming soon?
expansion. It's April. Sometime in
Okay, so
April.
not
Can't
quite
remember the
soon, but
date.
not far off. Okay.
Well, I think it's the same date that 76 releases on Steam.
Oh, right.
So,
Okay. Seems
Hopefully
wise.
that's gonna, hopefully that's gonna add some
NPCs.
flavour and stuff to the game because that game.
There's still
honestly,
people on it when you go on it, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like the other day, I came across someone who was like 110 level. Said hello to me and then dropped me a bunch of stuff that I can't make yet because I'm not. I was only
Just
like
excited
level
to see
9.
another person, I think.
another person who owns who runs
So
the game.
like gave me a bunch of recipes and plans, and then
That's nice.
later on, so like I turned it off and then turned my phone.
I'm starting to think you're the only human in this, Anna.
No, I met someone who was a level 294.
Wow, what are you doing for that long?
I know.
On
That
your
was
own?
mad. I was like, wow, that's intense. But so I had some atoms. Like you get atoms through the game, through like daily quests. You get atoms weekly. You get atoms completing stuff. You get atoms, and then you can spend them in the store. You can buy them with real money. I have never put any real money into it except for paying for the game. And I bought myself I bought myself a Nuka-Cola backpack for in-game because now there's backpacks. But I can't
Cosmetic
make-
or
'cause
regular backpacks that are useful, add storage
I think
sort of thing.
I think they add carry weight.
Okay,
I
that's good
can't
then.
make it yet because I don't have. I need one piece of leather, and I am trying my hardest to find leather, but I can never come across it. And I also bought. So it was 6. That was 60 atoms, and then for
Wow.
300 atoms, I bought. I want to 5. So it's like they're like onesies. I can't remember what they're called, but they're all like the Nuka-Cola. So Quantum, Dark, the red
like
and
the
black
suits.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the suits. I've got all of them,
That's cool.
and I just go to my workbench and make them. And now I have a Nuka-Cola Quantum suit on that's like bright blue, and yeah, it's really cool with like a Fallout 76 hat on. That cap, it's like there's lots of customization. Like it's all cosmetic. I believe they have now brought out repair packs, which don't alter the game because, like, for me, Fallout 76 is obviously going around and playing the map, but looting. I love to loot like you would not believe
really
in this
do like
game.
looting.
But these repair kits basically, so how you repair stuff in the game is you loot stuff. That loot gets turned into different bits of scrap, and that scrap, whether it's screws or steel or aluminium or whatever, or aluminum that Sheepdog said earlier, that they all get used in different ways to upgrade your guns, make guns, upgrade your armor, and make armor. But these repair kits, you don't need to do any of that. They just repair it, which I think, yeah, if you want, but I have no interest in that. I like looting. I like finding stuff. I like breaking down guns that I like. So, like, if I have 2 10mm, if I break down one of them, it might give me a new plan or a new part that I can now make and put on my gun. So that's cool. But yeah, there
20mm.
Is it? I don't think there is. Funny. But yeah, there's people in there. People are doing what they're
That's
doing.
good then, at least. There's some people.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll bring in new customers when it comes out on Steam, which I believe is in April with Wastelanders. So, like, Wastelanders, what I saw is there's something in the hills. So there's a new monster, because there's already monsters in the game. So, like, you've got the Mothman and this big thing that has no neck. Can't remember what its name is.
Sheepdog.
I knew that was coming. I have a neck. It's always bloody hurting.
But there's a bunch of them in the game, and now they're adding a new one that has really, like, you see bits of it, and it has really long legs, and there's a new faction to deal with. Faction. I couldn't think of it. I was like, not fraction. It's not math.
Chubby people.
But and obviously they're bringing like normal, just like people who are now in the town, so there's people to talk to, there's going to be story missions, because yes, there's you and other players, but the only thing that you talk to are robots that only have a set amount of things to say, and then you find tapes, which is fine, but when you're trying to listen to a tape and you're getting hit by a massive giant toad, you're like, I can't hear this very well, and then you go and try and find it in your thing, and it's just like, you're just like, nope, I'm not bothered. I've never ever detonated a nuke. It's just, I get to a certain point in the area, and it scares the bejesus out of me, so I leave, and then I don't go back, and then I start another person. I probably have 4 characters now, all around.
Wow.
Why don't you make that your next aim in the game? Go detonate a nuke. I often
because they're hard to get, because
regret
you
not doing that.
Because you have to go and find codes, and then you have to go, and then them codes can only be put in a certain way. If you put it in wrong, then you lose that code, and it's just a lot of faffing. Like, I think I want.
What else is there to do in the game? Really, that is the game, isn't it?
No, you only do that is. I don't even know why people. Because when you do it, the fauna around there changes, and you get that fauna, and then that makes better like armor and like weapons and stuff. But when a nuke has been detonated, it tells like everyone in that map that there is a nuke coming. Get out of the way if you're not prepared to go in there, because when a nuke is dropped on an area, every monster in there becomes irradiated, and irradiated animals and ghouls are not very nice to people, because you can only do it at a certain level. You shouldn't be in there. You can go in there, you will die. But so when they drop one, the people that have dropped it go in there, can go into the area, but so can you, and then you all just like fight and get around. So if I wanted to do that, I can go and join what someone is doing, but I just go from far away and then watch it drop and watch the mushroom cloud. I find that very therapeutic. I don't know why, but I do.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, I fell off the bridge the other day. I fell very, very, very far and died. And then I had when you die, because like you die, and it's like you're not fully dead, so you can ask for help. But there was no one around me, so I died. But when you die, you drop all your scrap. Like, you drop everything that you had, and you have to go and find it. I could not find mine for the longest time. It was in like a little nook next to the bridge, but I fell very, very far because a ghoul hit me, and I was on like a little ledge, and it just hit me, and I was like, oh my god, I'm falling. I was very far, but I found my scrap, and then I went to my hut, and I went to sleep. But like, the Atom Shop is addictive, because in there's like wallpaper. I'm like, do I need wallpaper? I do. I want it, but I didn't have the atoms. I'm like, I'm not paying for it. Don't put any. So I have to turn it off then, because it makes me want to pay.
Yep.
Nope. I paid too much for this game as it is. I'm not going to spend any more. But yeah, that's the only two I've got. What's the Yakuza remaster is on its way. I do like a Yakuza game. They're mental. They're like...
Is that Yakuza 1 then, I presume?
They're all of them. I don't know. Let me just
the
have a
full
look.
collection are you getting?
Yakuza...
Oh no, that'll be 3, 4 and 5. No.
Remaster. There we go.
I think that's...
So it comes out on Tuesday. And it is, complete your journey of the dragon. Yep. you get... I don't know.
I think that's 3, 4, and 5.
Oh, there we go. The Yakuza Remastered Collection, which includes Yuzuka 3, Yuzuka 4, Yuzuka 5.
Yeah, because
So
1 and 2
basically
already got remastered, yeah.
So yeah, they've upgraded from 720 to 180 to 30 to 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
They've gone through localization. So basically, sometimes, because it's Japanese and gets translated into English, sometimes stuff gets lost in translation and it makes no sense. And you're like, what now? Like, for the life of me, I sit there and go, what? What did you just say?
That's why a lot of people play it in Japanese.
Yeah,
because you do lose some stuff in translation, yeah.
Like, because I've got Yakuza 0, and
Yes.
that's in Japanese, and I have the English subtitles. They're all right, but sometimes you're like, what? Like, the way they talk to each other, you're like, what are you saying to him about a fish? Like, it's a fish. But
I quite like that reading manga. They say sometimes at the end of pages, they're like, this doesn't make sense in English, but it's a saying in Japan.
Yeah.
Or, it's a play on the fact that in Japan this word also means this. And it's like, oh, God. Like, I've never realised how unfunny puns are if you don't realise what the word they're punning is.
But I was playing 0 a few weeks ago, and I had to go and talk to some homeless people. But for the homeless people to talk to me, I had to go and buy them champagne, beer, whiskey, and like this weird hooch stuff. And I was like, you're homeless people, what do you want with champagne? But yeah, like, I was playing, I have no idea. I was playing one person, I got into a cutscene, and then I became this dancing man in a club, and now I'm playing as him. I don't know where my original character is. Don't have a clue. I have no idea how I went from here to here. Don't know. But this man danced and pranced about like
you've never seen before.
Yeah, honestly, I swear to God, it is. Like, if you put in Yakuza 0 club man dance, it's mental. It is the mental. Like I talked about a few weeks ago, it is the mentalist game I've ever played. It makes. I don't know why it is, but it is. It's around, and I don't know where it's from. But yeah, it blows my mind. I don't understand these games, but they're funny, and I have the collection coming, and I'm gonna enjoy their wacky and weird stuff. Yes, because
cool, sounds good.
It's good. Yes.
I mentioned last week that I'd been playing the battle. I can't remember what it's called. Battle mode, battle something on Pokemon. And I may have gone off the deep end with it. I've done 50 battles now. I've won 30 of them, which irks me that I've managed to lose 20 battles because I thought I was the very best like no one ever was. And yeah, but I am hooked on it. And some days I actually try and walk to actually be able to do it.
Goodness
Other days I just make sure that I drive slow enough that it counts the kilometres.
Sounds more like it.
But yeah, I have actually walked because I've thought, wow, if I walk 600 metres, I will be able to do a battle. So I've just walked out the front door and kept going until it says I'm allowed to battle, and then I walk home. My wife thinks I'm mad, but I really enjoy it. I'm a bit miffed that I have maybe 3 Pokemon that are appropriate for it, and I can't seem to find any in the wild that are equally appropriate. It involves a lot of research and looking around online to do it properly, which just seems a bit too much for me. But yeah, it's a fun. That's the best thing they've added to it so far, I think. Being able to just fight random strangers and realise that I'm actually pretty good at it. I'd say 5 of the 20 I've lost were to do with glitchiness, really, on the game's part, and they did bring it all down overnight a couple of days ago. I think it was down for like 15 hours because they were fixing some people putting it in airplane mode, which meant that they couldn't possibly lose the battle. It was like their Pokemon just wouldn't move, but from their point of view, they'd carry on fighting, and then they'd get a win. and the other person would just get it didn't really work, and so people were exploiting it that way, and they've put it down, fixed some other bits, but it meant I got like 15 extra battles today, so 15 of those 50 were today because I was just smashing it. But yeah, it's a great feature. I think when you get back into it in the summer, you'll probably quite enjoy it for a little bit. It's just a bit different. It's a bit entertaining.
Excellent.
Well, is that Pokemon Go? Because I've been turning it on, because I keep getting messages from it. So I turn it on, I'm at home, and I used to get, loads pop up. I'm getting nothing popping up around here.
Yeah, they changed the spawn points probably 3 months ago. So now I suddenly get 3 or 4 pop up at home, whereas other people I know who used to get 15, 20 turn up at home now get 10. There was a bloke who actually got his Twitter account shut down because every time they tweeted, he responded having a go at them about getting rid of his spawn points. And they ended up, someone must have reported him. Every day people were like, mate, just give it up. And he kept going, and they ended up, as I say, he ended up losing his account over it, which seemed really over the top. And then they finally were like, look, mate, we're sorry. So they rejigged it a little bit. But I'm guessing you've missed a few. But yeah, it's worth looking. If you do load it, it's worth looking through. If you've got any Pokemon with 0 attack, full defense, and full HP, so when you look at their stats, it'll be just a completely empty first line and then a full second and third line. They're the best ones for player v player, because apparently it means, because of the way it's weighted, it's under a certain score. So if their CP's under 1500, they're allowed into this battle thing that is on at the moment. But you can get closer to 1500 by having no attack and mean that you ultimately get a better. It's complicated, but yeah, 0, 15, 15 is the best stat to have for most of them. And I binned most of them off because I was a goddamn moron who didn't know they were going to ever need to be relevant. Anything that wasn't perfect, I was like, get in the grinder. And now I'm regretting it because I probably binned off so many perfect Pokemon because they weren't right. I'm paying for it now. But yeah, great feature. If you like battling other people and whatnot, get into it. And if you want to battle me, let me know, because I'm always up for battling random people.
Splendid. I believe that brings us to the end of this week's podcast. Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't correct me.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, as ever, boys and girls, if you want to abuse Sheepdog, because he's the only one who checks, you can do that at MGUK Podcast, or you can follow me at Lelujo.
Or you can abuse me directly at RB6K.
Sorry, I'm at Miss Lelujo.
I'm at Pab1986 on Twitter and Twitch.
And that's your lot, boys and girls. Toodle pip.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening, folks.
You're welcome.